Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast we own to attract entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you this week, episode 344, a number divisible by 4. That means it's time to do
the news.
And we have a Haunt Weekly first.
Yeah.
We have something that has never happened in 344 episodes, 1/4 of which are news episodes. Please don't make me math that. It's a lot of fucking news episodes.
It is.
But we've never had this happen. We get to break a story.
Mm-hmm.
And a possibly moderately significant one, too.
Mm-hmm.
This is very interesting. So we're going to get into that in just a little bit. We have some other things we have to get through first. We got some ups and some downs. It's going to be a wild ride. Please stick with us. I think it's going to wind up being a very interesting episode. But if you're looking for something else to do real fast, you can check out our website at hauntweekly.com or Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. You can follow us there and get all the updates. You can also find us at youtube.com/hauntweekly, our YouTube channel. Every episode goes up there at the same time. We know some people really do prefer to subscribe on YouTube. Godspeed to you weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find us where normal people get their podcasts, places like Apple Podcasts. I don't know why I'm picking on the YouTube subscribers
I don't know either.
We
like all our listeners.
We do. Well, there aren't very many of the YouTube subscribers.
Yeah.
I think maybe I just feel safe picking on them because there's like 3 of them.
It's like picking on the Amish.
Yeah. Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast from. And please do follow the Facebook page. Once again, facebook.com/hauntweekly. We are hopefully, we're aiming to do monthly live streams. Pick one episode a week, a cycle, have a guest, have them on, and you can catch it live and participate in the conversation. So yes, and those will take place Sundays at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern when we do those.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Before we get into the news,
yes,
we have some housekeeping notes.
Yes.
One serious, one fun.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do the serious one first. We're going to talk more about it in a minute, but... Mm-hmm. We have followed the request of Maddie and removed the Bloodshed Brothers episode of Haunt Weekly. It was I think 255. Mm-hmm. We had Zach Ball on, and he talked, and it was a very interesting episode. I mean, but after the recent allegations there, I agree with her.
Yeah. We
don't want to give him a platform. And after learning more details about what happened at that haunt from that episode, go back to episode 343. I cannot argue that idea at all.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to listen to it and we're going to pick out the points because there were some interesting ideas to how to get a haunt started.
No, I agree with that.
So that'll be an upcoming episode sometime.
Yeah, we'll recreate the episode without him.
Yeah.
Basically. What we're trying to say here. We're going to get the bullet points and recreate it without him. Now, here's the thing. We've unpublished it from everywhere.
Yeah.
If anybody has a legitimate reason for needing the episode, I don't know what the legitimate reason might be. I can't think of one.
Yeah.
But if that actually is something that happens, we do have the episode. So just write us and let us know what that legitimate reason might be. I don't think there was anything in it relative to relevant to the investigation. I can't imagine a legit reason. But I want to make it known that if there is one, we still have it.
Yeah.
And we will always still have it. All right, so that is that. Now for the fun one. Crystal, you want to announce this one?
Yes, we will be going to Haunters Against Hate.
The event?
The event.
You forgot the event?
Ellie is coming with us, so we all 3 will be there.
A little polycule.
Yes. We posted on the question of the week last week, actually. Will we see you there? If you are hearing this now and did not answer yes, please go and answer yes now.
Yeah.
Because there are goodies involved.
Yeah. We're really looking forward to this. I know this is super duper last minute.
Yeah.
And that is not commentary on Paul, Haunters Against Hate, or this conference.
No.
That is an issue with your work and trying to secure the time off.
Yeah.
And even now that issue is technically unresolved.
Yeah. Well, I thought I had it resolved, and then Friday I found out that I need to talk about it with HR this week.
Hmm.
So that's what I get to do on the 2 days that I'm back at work before we leave.
Yeah, we're leaving Wednesday evening or afternoon-ish. We don't know exactly when we'll be leaving. We're still kind of nailing that down. But yeah, we're really excited about this. And to show how excited we are, our involvement goes beyond just buying 3 tickets.
Yes.
We have ponied up for the first conference we have ever sponsored.
Yes.
We are sponsors of the event.
Yes.
Proud sponsors. You'll be seeing the Haunt Weekly logo all up in that bitch. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I am excited. We have previously sponsored their books.
Yes.
But we have never sponsored any conference, period.
No.
I don't think we've sponsored any. So, yeah, expect to see Haunt Weekly logo everywhere. Expect to see us everywhere.
Yeah.
If I seem a bit distracted, I'm sorry. I have something going on in my day job. I have a trial I have to testify in. I'll be, unfortunately, very, very focused on that, even while I'm at this conference, just because this is such a huge deal. But I'm looking forward to being there. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone. And I'm hoping that a little diversion time away from this bullshit of the past month or so might do me a little bit of good, because I've been kind of on edge. I'm not going to lie. So hopefully it'll help me. So yes, if you're going to Hunters Against Hate event this coming weekend, expect to see us there, both our logo and all the places, and the 3 of us.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of fun. All right, and so basically, the question of the week, both last week and this week, is the same. Will we see you at Hunters Against Hate, the event? Please let us know. As Crystal noted, this is actually more important than usual.
Yeah.
Usually we're just kind of goofing off with this. This actually has real-world consequences. And can't give away the ghost on why. There are prizes at stake, though. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
There are things at play.
Gifts.
There are gifts at stake.
Not really prizes, but gifts.
Well, they're a prize to us.
Yes, yes.
But anyways, so yes, please do actually let us know. All right. So I think that takes care of that. Jump right into conference reminders?
Yeah.
Crystal, lead us off.
All right. First is the event.
Whoa, really? Holy shit. Who knew? Oh my god.
Yes, so you can join us at the event in Lexington, Kentucky, July 8th through the 10th at the Clarion Center North, featuring drag shows, cosplay competitions, workshops, makeup contests, and many special guests. HaTheEvent.com for those last-minute tickets.
And details. And there are still some tickets available. I believe there's some hotel rooms. Not many.
Yeah, the hotel rooms were filling up fast.
Yeah, I think we might have gotten one of the last ones.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and we actually wound up not buying in the block. So I know that one that we didn't buy is still available.
Yeah, there's one available, maybe. Yeah, unless it was snatched up between the time.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? But please, rooms were filling out super fast. In fact, that's the reason we had to buy out of the block, was to get the room size we needed.
Yeah.
For 3 people. Kind of awkward, but anyways. Moving on to the Texas Haunters Convention in Mesquite, Texas, July 16th to the 17th at the Mesquite Convention Center, featuring axe throwing, a costume ball, a costume contest, an escape room visit, game night, a scavenger hunt, a Rocky Horror Picture Show with Shadowcast, just to name some of the activities. That is cherry picking on my part to pull just those out. Learn more details at TexasHauntersConvention.com.
Okay, July 29th through the 31st at Southeast Hallows Haunt Convention in Savannah, Georgia at the Savannah Convention Center. Magicians will be doing show demos on the show floor, masquerade ball, a fashion show, and makeup contests. SEHHC.com for more info.
If you're feeling a little bit more West Coast that weekend, July 29th through the 31st, once again, it's Midsummer Scream at the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California, featuring the famous Hall of Shadows and the Screaming Room. There will be a very interesting-looking Monster Kids panel featuring the descendants of Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, and Vincent Price, will be moderated by Metallica's Kirk Hammett. MidsummerScream.org for more information. That panel sounds really good. Sounds like a more kick-ass version of the Descendants to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Whew, that's that should get you through the summer months.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We've got to do the news, and we've talked about this one a lot, and I really don't know how much time we're going to spend on it. But Crystal, kick it off.
Okay, so the first story is from Patch.com. It involves the sex ring investigation that revealed Field of Screams haunted house ties. Now, we interviewed Maddie Monster last episode, so that's 343.
Yes.
Where you can hear her side of it. Zachary Ball of the Bloodshed brothers and 2 former workers have been convicted for crimes against children. One worker, Morgan Fowler, is facing 215 years in prison, and was originally charged with 57 felony counts, and convicted of 18.
Yeah.
So,
or he pleaded guilty to 18.
Yes, pleaded guilty. Zachary also pleaded guilty, and received 180 days in jail, 178 to be served in a work release program. And he gets on the sex registry and cannot work in haunted houses anymore, which is good.
That is. I mean, okay, this is the end of his haunt career either way, but that's the legal nail in the coffin.
Exactly.
We'll say. Because there's no goddamn way you can work in a haunt industry with that on your record.
No.
And not being allowed reminders, or that's just not, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and basically, they recruited over 150 teenage volunteers to work at their haunted houses. And there are multiple accounts, multiple victims involved.
Yeah. And it's complicated, and a lot of it seems to still be getting sorted in some ways. Even though we may have some legal conclusions here, a lot of what happened seems to be getting sorted too, as more people are coming forward.
Right. The sentencing for the woman who was complicit.
Yeah, convicted on 2 counts of willful child cruelty.
Yeah. Is coming out this month.
Yeah.
Sometime this month. So
so here's the thing. I don't want to spend too much time on it. We've talked about it for a full hour with Maddie. She was there. She told her story. I felt quite well. I have nothing to add to it. I will just say the 2 things that I think bear repeating here is this should scare every haunt owner shitless, and we need to start thinking about how we can better protect the young people that work with us.
Yes.
And the second thing is, and on a personal note, I'm very, very happy that this did not cause Maddie to lose her love of haunting, and that she is still a member of our community.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful to me. It's such a powerful thing to not let him take that from you. I agree with that 110%. So, yeah. Haunt owners, be scared, be thinking.
Yeah.
Maddie, great job, and much power to you for doing what you love.
Exactly. And also, haunt owners, remember from the interview that even if somebody knows that something's going on, they're not necessarily going to tell you. They're going to assume you probably already know.
Yeah, or one of the things that came out in that was people might have known bits and pieces.
Right.
They might have known weird things here and there, and just didn't have all the information to put the tapestry of what was happening together. And so they saw something wrong, but didn't say anything because, they're giving the teens beers. That's all they're doing,
Yeah.
You should still say something because it's serving minors alcohol.
Yeah.
But they might have not thought that was wrong enough to report.
Right.
Well, but if they had, this whole thing might have been broken up years earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's about all we want to say on that. I think that's leaving it at a good place. Go back, listen to episode 343. Maddie does such a great job telling the story and tells things that were not in the original coverage, really expands upon how it happened, and paints a picture that I think every haunt owner in particular needs to hear.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. We get to break a story.
Yes.
I am super excited about this because I have 3 passions in my life. Crystal and Ellie, my family, copyright, and haunted houses. And today I get to combine all 3 into one story because you're here with me reporting it, breaking it, and it's a copyright story about haunting, and it's something nobody else on the planet has noticed. This is the first anyone has heard of this anywhere. And I had to write my own headline because like I said, we're breaking it. Mask maker sues Spirit Halloween and copyright small claims court. That's pretty much this article is by me. me. No. The mask maker Thomas E. Wood has filed a claim in the Copyright Small Claims Court, more accurately known as the Copyright Claims Board, against Spirit Halloween. He accuses Spirit Halloween of copying his quote-unquote Ringmaster Dark Carnival mask. That's the title of the mask work.
Mm-hmm.
And he is specifically seeking all the profits from Spirit sales. That's going to be an issue. We'll come to that. Now, why has this not made a bigger splash?
Uh-huh.
Well, the Copyright Claims Board, the CCB, is brand spanking new. And in fact, I think this is only the 39th or 38th case filed in it.
Wow.
I have been watching the claims going into it like a hawk, just sort of studying each one, because this is sort of my new obsession in my day job. This is keeping me sane during what has been a very insane fucking month.
Yeah.
Give me a break. But no. It was a product of the Case Act, which was passed in 2020. So passed in late 2020, took 2 years, a year and a half or so to implement, and here we are today. Basically, it allows claimants to file a case for just $100. And that's $40 when the initial claim is filed and $100 if it goes before the tribunal. And the cases are heard either by a single officer, not a judge, they're called officers here, or a tribunal of 3. And those claimants can seek up to $15,000 per infringed work, or $30,000 total. And so if there are multiple works involved, you can get up to $30,000. So in this case, we're dealing with one work, the mask. So the maximum damages is $15,000, which if he's seeking all the profit Spirit made from selling the mask, I don't think that's going to quite cover it.
Right. This isn't going to be the way to get that.
No. And there's another issue for Mr. Wood, and that is the respondent can simply opt out. If Spirit says, nah, I don't feel like being a part of this, I can just opt out, they have that option. And then the case literally goes poof and disappears. The only response to that, if they opt out, is to file a full copyright infringement lawsuit in federal court. I don't know how likely that is in this case. I've been thinking about the copyright is not timely filed, but that only speaks to statutory damages in this case. And he's really only seeking actual damages, the profits. So that's not really relevant, but it's still worth noting. But I believe he is being represented by a family member. I believe the attorney working on him was Robert Wood. So it stands to reason this is likely someone in his family. I don't know how much so. But yeah, this is going to be interesting to see what happens. I'll be following this case closely. I've been following everything. I've got a couple of these cases in the CCB that I've been following really, really closely because they're interesting for different. Which is one, for example, against an SA mill site. And if you know anything about my day job, you know immediately why I'm interested in that one.
Yeah, you may have written on them.
I may have already written about that one. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, a mask maker, Thomas E. Wood again, has filed a lawsuit against Spirit Halloween over supposedly them replicating his mask. Now, this is something that haunters have complained about with Spirit Halloween for as long as I can remember, and then some.
Yeah.
Is that prop makers and builders make these things, and they make high-end quality ones, and Spirit goes to factories or wherever they can make things cheaper and makes knockoffs of them, basically, and sells them at a drastically reduced price, but also drastically reduced quality.
Right.
And then the goal is, like, most prop makers we deal with are either servicing the industry directly or they're servicing the high-end Halloween enthusiast, we'll say.
Yeah.
Spirit, I think, tries to reach general, more broad audience with their stuff, so they work to get that price down. But once again, especially with things like masks, I think that's one of the areas that's the most noticeable. I did look at the photos provided in this case. The masks do look similar to me. I'm not sure how much of this is protectable. That's going to be an interesting argument, because it's a white mask with black patterns around the eyes and mouth to give like a carnival vibe. I'm not quite clown-like, because it's just white and black. But no, an evil carnival vibe is what I would describe it as. Which is appropriate because it's a dark carnival. But yeah, I'll be very interested to see what happens with this. Like I said, this process is super duper new. It's been around less than a month. None of the cases have been resolved as of this time. In fact, I don't think anyone has even opted out or opted into a case yet. We just have a bunch of cases being filed, and we're waiting on the responses, whatever those responses may be. So, yeah. Keep an eye on this one. I hate to send you to a place that's not named hauntweekly.com, but plagiarismtoday.com is my day job site. I've written about the CCB multiple times in recent weeks. I may, depending upon how things go, write about this Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Mm-hmm. This week, rather. So, yeah. This is interesting. This is something the haunted attraction industry has been bitching about for a long, long time now, and this is a very new approach to dealing with it.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, and hopefully, people who feel that they have been wronged by spirit or by other people stealing their stuff can use this new process to get some...
Yeah, and that is like the $10,000 question. Is since it's so new, we have no idea how useful or practical this process is going to be. Mm-hmm. We really don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep your eyes on the space.
Yeah. All right. Next up, have a report from What's In, What's Out, What's Haunted. A visit to Midwest Haunters Convention. This story is from the Chicago Tribune, and it is written by Christopher Borelli. He described MHC, and he contrasted it to Transworld as MHC being more of a mom and pop haunts, modest charity, and even the annoying neighbors, according to him, who transform their lawns into graveyards every year. I think that's us. Yeah. We do that. So, but it was an interesting contrast because I had never thought of MHC as being...
And MHC is put on by the same people that do Transworld.
Yeah. So it may be on our list of conferences to go to in the future. But the things that are in, according to him, evil nurses, out, evil clowns.
I hope there is some... I hope evil clowns are on their way out.
Yeah.
Because we have definitely hit a saturation point on that. I understand clown characters. I understand they have a place, especially in carnival-themed haunts. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like for a while there, everybody was trying to do a goddamn clown character, even when it didn't fit. I get it. Pennywise is cool.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ. We as an industry, we have this thing where we really, really, really like to follow trends. Really like to follow trends. And it gets over. Anyways. Yeah, but evil nurses, I don't know if that's better. That creates its own set of problems.
Yeah, well, it depends, Anyway. Other things that were in were burlap mask, custom fog, cheerfully demonic, mad props, rotting pumpkins, and hyper-realism.
Yeah.
So, all interesting things that were seen at Midwest Haunters Convention.
Yeah, I find the burlap mask thing to be interesting because I've only worn one briefly, like trying it on. Mm-hmm. I found it impossible to see out of or breathe in.
Yeah.
I found it incredibly difficult to work in, and I work in a very difficult mask. Mm-hmm. Yeah, custom fog, that's been a growing thing in the haunted. Just look at Froggy's Fog and what they've been doing, Mm-hmm. Cheerfully demonic, I want an explanation on that.
Yeah, there was just a picture along with the list. So if you want to see what he's actually talking about...
Yeah, check the list and link in our show notes.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, moving right along. Halloween all year long. Filmmaker envisions town of horror at Irish Hills Stagecoach Stuff. This is by Amber Ainsworth at Fox 2 Detroit.
Yes.
Basically, Nate Thompson's a filmmaker. He visited Stagecoach Stop in Irish Hills and saw an idea for a horror town, basically. Mm-hmm. He's working to transform a chunk of property there to create a place where it is Halloween all the time, including a year-round haunted house. It's going to be a horror museum, a horror collectible store, and a horror theater as well.
Yeah. So it's a very ambitious undertaking.
Yeah. Like, any one of those by themselves would be ambitious.
Yeah.
Because, stop and think about the complexity of opening a year-round haunted house in a place that is not a huge tourist market, to my understanding. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
Right.
Maybe I don't really understand the town of Irish Hills,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, but he thinks that people get the itch to go to haunted houses in June. Starting in June,
some
July.
of us do. We're
Yeah.
called freaks and weirdos and listen to a podcast called Haunt Weekly.
Yeah, but I thought that was interesting that that the perception was that normal people start thinking about Halloween around then too.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, one of the things, and maybe this should have been one of our takeaways from the Myrtle Beach trip, because we did a whole episode about that and about the haunts in Myrtle Beach. Every haunt we went to in Myrtle Beach was doing brisk business. Yes,
we never were in a group by ourselves.
Yeah, we were not alone. Granted, we didn't have huge queues at any of them.
Right.
None of them had like queues, but all of them seemed to be well attended and have a steady stream of people going through. And I think the reason there were no queues is because the haunts are so short.
Right.
I mean, I don't think you would need a crush of humanity to develop a queue, and they're letting in fairly large groups too.
Yeah, I think the longest queue was at the Wax Museum, and that was when we saw it on the way out.
Yeah.
It was not there when we got there, but there was definitely a line when we left.
Actually, it was there when we first got there, but then we went to the mirror thing, got through that, when we came out of that, it was gone.
Yeah.
So we didn't wait in a queue. And in fact, we apparently fucked things up because they had let that group in, and they apparently let a huge fucking group in at once.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we got 2 random assholes here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Keep talking about some podcast or shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, no, yeah, but they were running queues at various times that we saw. We just weren't in one ourselves. The Ripleys definitely had people steadily going through it. And the other one we went to, I already forgot the name of it. I'm getting old. There was not much of a queue, but we were there with people. We were not alone.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Stagecoach Stuff opened originally in 1965 and included Western-themed attractions. Now, the property is just a few miles east of Michigan International Speedway, has an escape room, a wedding venue, and hotel. They're targeting an open date of August 1st.
Yeah. So that's just around the corner.
And if we're ever in that area, and one of the things I do love about year-round haunted houses is I get to say this. If I'm ever around that area for any reason, I'm going.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I get to actually say that and mean it. Because usually it's like, oh yeah, we'll be in the area, but we're going to, like when we went to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We got to see Eastern State Penitentiary, not the haunted house.
Yeah.
Because we were there in like fucking July.
No, it was like February or March because they were supposed to have a blizzard. And then
that's right. You're right. It was very, very early. It was February. I think you're right.
Okay, it's a blizzard to me because it's snow.
Well, and it shut down, or it shut down the airport for a while. We got out just ahead of it.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Because someone keeps the snow away.
I know.
But yeah, no, this is an interesting idea. And actually, this idea of converting a Western theme to a horror theme is not new. We learned about this, we talked about it on the Dark Ride, that was converted from a Western theme. It was a mine. It was converted into a Garfield Dark Ride. Yeah, don't ask me about it either. And Larry Kirchner worked on that. And I don't think its failure was his fault. I think the notion of a Garfield Dark Ride is just too stupid to make for anyone to make it work.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. So the 13th floor haunted house in San Antonio has put out their ad, and this is like the first ad I've seen for all positions of haunted house. And they're hiring for 150 positions, and this is from ksat.com. So including staff, cashiers, makeup artists, photographers, ticket people, cleaning staff. They listed everything, and you have to be 18 years or older to apply, and you have to have a passion for Halloween. But that 18 years or older to apply is something that we need to start seeing more of. Yeah,
I mean, we talked about this briefly last episode with Maddie. We talked about there's a water park just up the road. Well, just up the road, meaning Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
The road is I-10.
Yes. Yes.
But anyways, that we see when we're going back and forth from Baton Rouge for any reason. Last time we were heading that way, I saw a sign that said they were hiring people as young as 15.
Yeah.
And that is nuts to me.
It is.
There are at this point, setting aside everything from that episode that gives me all the reason to be very, very skeptical that's a good idea.
Uh-huh.
There's legal issues. There's, I know some of those issues are lessened, but you still have,
yeah,
underage workers are a pain in the ass. They have limited hours, limited times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you check with your local before hiring anyone under the age of 16 in particular. I personally, though, I'm with you. 18 and over should be just the lay of the land. But I also know, especially for some charity haunts, that may be nearly impossible.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to another interesting piece of haunted attraction news. The headline reads, Halloween fans are going to love Adventureland's latest news. This is an article by KHAK. The Adventureland Resort in Altoona, and it's in Pennsylvania, I found out, released information about a new fall event that they are doing. And basically, they're going to do their own version of Halloween Horror Nights, what it sounds like. They are going to have several haunted houses, Cornstalker's Maze type thing, Spirit of the Swamp, Carnival, and they're also going to have scare zones.
Mm-hmm. You left off Alice in
Wonderland.
Wonderland.
Left off Alice in Wonderland. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just realized it.
And the only reason that I want to mention that is because that was actually the theme and the only theme that we've done that wasn't original.
Yeah.
For our haunted house. The very, very first one.
Yeah, the one that was just our front yard and front porch.
Yeah.
We did Alice in Horrorland. And it was a good theme, and it worked out well.
Yeah.
But whenever we moved to this house and got the garage...
Yeah.
And we had actual space.
And time, because with that one, we built it in like 2 weeks.
No, that first one, we built it in a day.
Okay.
We built it inside a day or two.
Yeah.
There was no way that structure was staying up 2 weeks.
No. But anyway, back to this.
That's the only time we did an unoriginal theme. Ever since then, when we got here, we knew we wanted to do original stuff. Yes. Tell our own stories, and we've done it ever since. Mm-hmm. But anyways, they'll have scare zones including Masquerade, the Phantom's World, death metal vampires, which that just sounds awesome. I don't know. How the fuck is that a scare zone? That just sounds awesome.
That sounds like the best goth club ever.
And arachnophobia. So, this is interesting. We've been seeing a steady rise in theme parks all over the country doing this, where they're building these small haunted houses, setting up scare zones, and doing a Halloween targeted activity. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason is obvious. I mean, according to most studies, Halloween is the second biggest spending holiday in terms of decorations and specific activities related to it.
Yeah.
It makes sense to try to capture some of that money, especially if they're already doing a Christmas/holiday themed thing. Mm-hmm. It just makes sense to kick back into October and do something then.
Yeah.
Especially since you can easily do the Halloween thing, have your tear down, have your build, and then be ready for anything you want to do in the holidays after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason. I would argue a theme park that's not doing something for Halloween is wasting money.
Exactly.
If they're in a climate where they can do shit for Halloween.
Yeah.
And honestly, Pennsylvania may be pushing it in that regard.
Yeah. But, I have no idea.
But I don't think Barrows, Alaska theme park, if there is one, I don't think there is, should be doing that. No, there isn't. I'm very sure of that. But
if it is, it's indoor.
Yeah, it's and they can do a Halloween thing. But obviously climate, audience dependent. But I really do think you ignore Halloween at your own risk.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, this one is not exactly haunted house related, but it is Disney related. So Splash Mountain is getting an overhaul. They are getting rid of the Song of the South characters, which are very problematic. It goes into why it's problematic.
Yeah.
In fact, the CEO said, I felt as long as I've been the CEO that Song of the South was even with the disclaimer not appropriate in today's world. So they that's something that came up whenever Disney Plus was going to be released, and a discussion about whether or not to put the movie on there with the disclaimer like they did with Dumbo and with Peter Pan for being insensitive.
Wait, what was insensitive Peter Pan? Granted, I haven't seen Peter Pan since I was a kid, so
yeah, exactly. I think we're gonna have to go and watch Peter Pan.
Oh God damn it! I gotta watch Peter Pan again.
You just and it would be good to see the disclaimer to see what they did.
I remember what was insensitive. Everybody remembers what was insensitive about Dumbo.
Yeah,
it was the fucking crows.
Yeah.
The crows were fucking horrible.
Yeah,
I remember that. I do know. Oh, I know what it was.
Was it a Romanian?
No, the Native Americans. Portrayal of the indigenous people.
Okay.
I bet that was it.
Yeah, I don't know, but we could see the disclaimer at least, and so anyway,
moving on.
At Essence Fest this weekend in New Orleans, they announced that Princess and the Frog is going to be the new theme. So they're taking it all over, and I didn't know this, but the princess from that movie is actually based off of Chef Leah Chase Dookie of Dookie Chase's restaurant.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I didn't know she turned into a frog. What a hell of a backstory for
Jesus Christ.
I thought she was just a really great cook and opened up an amazing restaurant.
Yes.
But seriously, I've ridden Splash Mountain. But I did not see Song of the South until within the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly when we watched it. We obtained a gray market copy of it because you couldn't find it anywhere legally. And I never pirate things, but if you're not going to, you know what I mean?
If it's not available, a gray market is...
It was the only option. We took the only option we had. But anyways, I have not seen it until then. But I did ride Splash Mountain.
Yes.
I had no idea where the fuck those characters came from at that time.
Yeah.
I knew they weren't from any Disney movie I'd seen.
Yeah.
But my God, if you've ever ridden Splash Mountain, it was hilarious because when we're trying to get on the ride, me and my dad were getting on it, everyone has this blank-ass look on their face.
When they're coming off?
When they're coming off, they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, and we're like, oh God, is that drop that scary?
Mm-hmm.
No, what it is the drop, 90%, like 80 to 90% of the ride is going around those animatronics.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of drops, and then you have the big drop, but then you have 2 more minutes with the goddamn animatronics.
Yeah.
So, and everyone's like, what the fuck was that? And we get off and we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it sounds like that's going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
But this time you're going to be going through a bayou.
Yeah.
Scene.
Way more logical.
Yeah.
Way better connection.
And ending in a Mardi Gras scene.
Yeah.
So go through the bayou and end in a Mardi Gras scene.
So after the big drop, they're going to have the Mardi Gras scene.
Yeah, that everyone is invited to the Mardi Gras. So I'm hoping that they have some inclusive characters in the Mardi Gras
I'm
scene.
sure they will. This is Disney
it's
we're talking
what
about.
It sounds like they're planning on.
Yeah, and I did not realize the official announcement was at Essence Fest, which, like you said, is going on this weekend, July 4th weekend, here in New Orleans. So that's cool. This is, and like I said, Song of the South, having now seen it, really problematic. And I kind of agree with the CEO that you can't just precaution your way out of it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, no, I'm excited about this remake, and also I think Princess and the Frog gives them a lot more to work with too.
Yeah,
there's a lot more in that movie because the other thing is the Brer Bear, Brer Rabbit parts of Song of the South only made up like a third of the film.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really make up a whole lot of the movie, and that did not. The ride was telling a 5-minute story over the course of what felt like 3 weeks, So, anyways, moving on. The Black Phone Haunted House is the newest unveiling for Halloween Horror Nights. This is an article on GameRevolution.com. The Black Phone is a new horror movie, and the main character is named Bloomhouse. It's coming up, Bloomhouse!
Yeah, and I may have actually gotten that part wrong. It's confusing to me, because I haven't seen the Black Phone, because it's new. But
anyways, guests are transported to an alternate dimension where scares are real and the stakes are life and death. The synopsis continues, highlighting the role of the kidnapping grabber with the attraction. The grabber is a demented magician best known for his sinister trick of making people disappear permanently. Mm-hmm. Guests will find themselves trapped in this quote-unquote... Why did they put quote-unquote fun? Shouldn't that just be fun?
Yeah, but they're doing something in the article or in the advertisement that we tell people not to do all the time.
Makes it sound genuinely unsafe.
Exactly. Like, don't say that you're going to be gone forever.
Where the sound of ghostly voices whisper hints on how to escape, but guests must tread carefully to outwit and outrun the grabber's twisted magic. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Having just read their marketing, which is what we did, I did a lot of that. Yeah, I agree that, like, for me, and Halloween Horror Nights may have it a bit different in that, if they choose to skip that haunt because of the marketing, they're still going to go to Halloween Horror Nights and go to all the other haunts.
Yeah, they're going to go to everything. I mean, if you're there for Halloween Horror Nights, you're going to go everything. They can fit in. Yeah.
Yeah, from what I understand, it's impossible to hit everything in one night at HHN.
Yeah.
So, and I understand. That's why, 2-day and 3-day passes are a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting idea. It's good to see. They've been really this year leaning on their classical stuff. They have the one with the classic Universal monsters, the Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and all that. And here they're going the opposite direction and doing something super recent.
Yeah, super recent that people aren't going to be overly exposed to by now.
Well, okay, let me ask the question then. Is it possible that in this situation the haunt is promoting the film rather than the other way around?
I was wondering that too, or wondering if the film got a green light because it would become a haunted house at HHN. Like,
good question.
There's lots of questions about how this process is now working.
I absolutely am disgusted I'm about to use this word, but there is a real synergy between HHN and the movies that it does. The haunts promote the movies, and the movies get people interested in the haunts. It feeds back into itself.
Yeah.
And here they're clearly trying to do more of the haunt promoting them. Because I hadn't even heard of this film, to be honest.
I have.
Okay.
I've seen a couple of advertisements for it on when Ellie has TV on.
Okay.
So, but
I was completely unaware of it.
But yeah. Yes, it's an interesting choice based off of the ad that I've seen for the movie.
Fair enough. All right. Moving on.
All right. So, so that's one theme park, and we talked about another. Well, this is a third, because if you aren't doing something at Halloween,
you're throwing money down the drain.
Park, you're just throwing it away.
Give it to me instead.
Yeah. So, SeaWorld's Hallow Scream is announced that Captain's Revenge has been overhauled, and it is going to be Captain's Revenge Drown in Darkness. Is the full title for this season.
Really interesting choice to go with a drowning theme.
At SeaWorld. Well, I guess they could have done killer whales.
If there is one theme park that maybe gets a free pass on if you're not doing something for Halloween, it might be SeaWorld. It really does not fit the brand.
They could do Sharknado.
Oh, jeez.
In addition to the haunted house, they're also going to have Cutthroat Cove, which is a pirate-infested scare zone, and a bar experience with the Longshoreman Tavern.
Oh, I'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
It
opens September 9th, and is open through Halloween.
Yeah. All right, we actually watched the first episode of this.
Yes.
This might be interesting for some fans of Haunt Weekly. I know this is a little bit overlappy, but Dead End Paranormal Park is a horror-themed comedy cartoon.
Yes.
I think it's the best way to describe it, featuring a queer character, queer main character. And yeah, it's about, as this thing puts it, they're wayward teens finding that they're sucked into the paranormal happenings of a haunted theme park. And basically they're operating as security, quote unquote, in the park.
For a demon.
Yeah, for a demon. It's really bizarre. We've only seen the first episode, so I can't give too much away.
Right.
But it has an inclusive cast of characters, as well as what they say are interconnected explorations of the feelings young people deal with when they're first setting off on their own. And that was very much a theme in the first episode.
Yeah.
That was that came through very strongly in the first episode. But yeah, haunted house setting, and it literally is set in a haunted house.
Yeah.
To be clear. Like, literally this could be a haunted attraction because it has the weird stair slide thing.
Yeah.
Which I always thought was such a stupid thing to put.
And a mirror maze.
And a mirror maze and other trappings of an actual haunted attraction.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually really haunted, of course, because it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a neat show, and I'm looking forward to watching more of it probably later tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next up. The Haunted Mansion is getting a mini Lego set coming out August 1st. It's going to be $39.99. It's 680 pieces, which is a lot more pieces than I was expecting for something the size of a hamburger.
Well, it's not it's not a very big set though, ultimately.
Well, yeah, because the picture shows like the little figures.
Yeah.
Is 1/3 the height of the house. Exactly. He looks giant compared to the house.
Smash! Haunted Mansion!
Exactly. Like, he's not fitting in any doorways in there. But, it's... The outside of it looks like the Haunted Mansion. There are cutaways to see some of the iconic scenes inside. So, yeah, for our...
And it's a 16 by 16 stud base, so it's not very big.
Right.
But it is 680 pieces. Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Like, that's a lot of tiny fucking pieces.
Yeah. So it's going to have, so it shows things like the hitchhiking ghost, Madame Leota, and the gravekeeper. So,
yeah, I guess they couldn't put in the goddamn stretching room.
Yeah.
Because that is always my favorite part of the Haunted Mansion is the stretching room. Which is it's such a weird thing to say because most people... I mean, everyone knows it's there, but most people are like, no, that's just a thing. That's just to get you onto the ride. No, it's part of the fucking experience. Mm-hmm. And learning about why they have it there, it's so cool.
Yeah.
To understand what they're doing.
They're distracting you.
Well, they take you in an elevator.
Yeah.
Which, interesting fact, I did not know this until fairly recently, but the stretching rooms in both L.A. and California and Florida are the largest pedestrian elevators, human-carrying elevators in the country.
Wow.
They are capable of carrying, I think they said 80 people per go.
That's impressive.
They are the largest people carrying. They're bigger elevators for stuff.
Yeah. There's freight elevators.
Freight elevators. There's bigger elevators for stuff, but for people carrying, specifically to carry people, these are the biggest by all accounts. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting.
It is.
All right, finally today, as we're winding this up a little bit, we have a preview of what is coming to Home Depot. Mm-hmm. Always interesting to know. It looks like the 12-foot skeleton is making its return.
Yes, as well as...
Did it ever really go away?
No. I mean, they're harder to find, but they didn't go away. And then they've got the second iteration of that looks like a rotted skeleton.
Yeah, pre-corpsed. And I'm going to suspect they saw weirdos like us corpsing their 12-foot skeleton.
Yeah.
And said, hey, we could pre-corpse it and sell it for more money.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it went. But they're also selling other large-scale props, it looks like, too, including a flying witch.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, all we have is a photograph. So it's a still image of the display. So we don't really know what else is in there. Or what, we don't know what movement it has, if any. But yeah, this year Home Depot is going to be another time. It's going to be another interesting year for them for the giant Halloween props.
Yeah.
And this is and this is the thing. It's like Home Depot. We watched, you and me, as Home Depot went from a afterthought at best for Halloween stuff to the first retail destination we check out.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have really outdone themselves, and they I think enough spirits opened up right across from them in several locations for them to say, hey, maybe we should, get into this Halloween stuff more and do some bigger props. And
they found a great niche for themselves in that they are selling really giant, big stuff. Mm-hmm. And selling giant shit is so easy because, it's expensive. But if one person buys it and puts it in their yard, everyone's going to walk by. Where the fuck do you get that? Oh, Home Depot. Well, now I need one.
Yeah. Yeah,
they self-advertise.
Exactly. The first time the 12-foot skeleton came out, everybody went out and grabbed them.
Yeah, we did not, and I don't think we are this year either.
Mm-mm.
And the reason I believe is just because we don't have really a use for it, and B, we don't have a place to store it.
Yeah. Yeah, the storage is the real problem.
Like, I'm sure we could come up with something.
We could put the legs in the yard and the top like hanging over the house,
Mm-hmm.
so it looks like it's been squished by the house. That would be fun.
But yeah, it looks like they're coming out with a lot more giant stuff. Now, one thing that Home Depot does not get enough credit for is their medium-sized props, their human-sized stuff. They have a really good selection of animatronics that are people-sized. And here's the thing, yeah, the quality is maybe not the best. You might even argue that they're Spirit quality props, but they are way cheaper than Spirit.
Yeah, we literally bought some bulbs one year at Spirit, walked across to Home Depot to see what, because they were at the same parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Walked across the parking lot, saw the price at Home Depot, bought the same bulbs, took the others back to Spirit and returned them.
Yeah, we it got them like 30 to 40% cheaper.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And yeah. And now Spirit's got a copyright lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I think that's about all we have time for this week. It's been a very, very good news episode. And so keep your eyes open on Home Depot.
Yeah.
On that note, everyone, thank you very much for joining us for this past hour. We greatly appreciate your time and attention. If you want to listen to more Haunt Weekly, check us out at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, and youtube.com/Haunt Weekly, as well as wherever you get podcasts from. We're pretty much in all of them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we will be coming at you next week from Haunters Against Hate, the event.
Yes.
We don't know exactly what we're going to do. We haven't really formed a plan.
No, and we may be late because Monday is a travel day, and we don't know if we're going to have time Sunday.
Yeah, and there's going to be internet issues too. And you got to realize Tuesday afternoon, I've got to kick off and drive to Houston.
Yeah, for your
for a trial.
Yeah.
So Monday will be a travel day. At least the morning of it for us, because we're leaving. We'll be there. We're hopefully going to arrive Tuesday afternoon. Thursday afternoon. Mm-hmm. We're going to leave Sunday evening is the goal. Afternoon. Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, I want to make sure you get enough time before you have to go to Houston.
I would like that. But on that note, everyone, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you all next week.